Hey friends, it's me, Christiana Gaudette. I am live on my YouTube channel. I am simulcasting on Instagram. I am your Tarot Fairy Godmother, and this is a free workshop open to all on tarot birth cards. Thank you so much for being here. And to be clear, what we're going to be focusing on here today, there are many tarot cards that will be associated with your birthday having to do with astrology. Your decans, for instance, things of that nature. We're not dealing with those here today. What we are dealing with is the major arcana cards that are associated with the date of your birth. We will be talking about some of the traditions associated with this, figuring out what your birth cards are, and does it matter? You know, I am not a person who works a whole lot with birth cards. There are some readers who, like, that's part of the reading. If you book a reading with them, they want your birthday, they're going to figure out your birth cards, and that's going to be part of the reading. Does anyone read that way here today? Has anyone had a reading with someone who reads that way? Like the greats do. I think Rachel Pollack does. I think Mary Greer might. I actually believe that the whole concept of tarot birth cards first came from Mary K. Greer, Tarot for Yourself, where she talks about doing your tarot profile. Now, it's an interesting thing that I've had that book forever and I haven't really worked with it much, although I know it's groundbreaking and I know it's really, really important. But over time, I did develop the idea of personal cards, developing your personal cards, which as I was reading over today, I was like, oh, that's a lot like Mary K. Greer's tarot profile. I wonder if I had actually read and studied the book, would I have come up with that the same way, a different way? I do not know. But we really do credit Mary with, the idea, first of all, that we can look at the cards and learn about ourselves, and that can be like one of the things tarot is for us. And for those of us who love Mary, remember that she will be headlining along with Sheila Haidt at StarCon 2023, January 20th through 22nd. I am feverishly working on the website to get it up so we can get some ticket sales. But do, at this point, just mark your calendar, January 20th through 22nd. You can join us in West Palm Beach or online on Excelivans. All right. I want to say hi to everyone who is here. And if you're joining us on Instagram, thanks so much for being here. You can join us right there, or you can come on over to YouTube where you'll be able to see the cards and interact a little more directly. Laura, it's nice to see you. Robin Renee, nice to see you. Karen, nice to see you. Diane, is that you? Yes, Diane, nice to see you. Glad you're here. And to all the people here on YouTube, thank you so very much for being here. And a special shout out to our members. You can tell who the members are because their names are in green. Members are people who make a monthly commitment to the support of this channel, and we really appreciate that. Of course, you can support this channel simply by liking this video and by sharing this channel with your tarot friends, because we like it when people come to visit. All right, so I did in the chat give you the assignment of coming up with, now when I first started doing this, we called it your birth number or your astral number. I've now heard it called your life path number. These are terms that are used in numerology. And of course, when we talk about numerology, we know that there are numerous traditions of numerology. There's Pythagorean numerology, there's Kabbalistic numerology, there's all these different traditions. And what we are looking at here today is very specific to tarot, but finding that birth number is an important part of this. But to figure out whether or not you have a personality card, what you need to do is this. As you figure out your birth number, of course, what you are doing is taking all the digits of your birthday, including the 4 digits of the year, and adding each digit together, and you will get a 2-digit number. And it may be that you add that 2-digit number together and you still get a 2-digit number, but then you have a 2-digit number that you add together and get a number 1 through 9. That number 1 through 9 would be known as your birth number or your astral number or your life path number. But the 2-digit number that you got before that, if it is 22 or less, the corresponding card there would be considered your personality card. If it is greater than 22, 23 or more, you do not have a personality card. I am a person who does not have a personality card. Mine is like 36 and then 8. And so my birth card is strength. But when we think of these major arcana cards, we do think of the birth pairs, and sometimes those pairs are actually triplets. And so my pair is the star, but I do not consider that a personality card. So if you have a personality card, the personality card talks about the lessons that you are here to learn in this lifetime. The soul card, which is that 1 through 9 card that we all have, talks about the lessons our soul learns lifetime to lifetime all the time. If you, like me, do not have a personality card, it means in this lifetime, you're just focused on that soul stuff and you're focused on it. People without a personality card tend to be very focused on what they do, very direct with what they do that fits me for sure. And you can let us know as we go throughout this time together, is this helpful information? Does it work for you? Does it help you? How do you work with it? As I said, I'm not, birth cards is not like a huge part of my practice. But I thought it would be fun for us to get together and discuss it. So I'd love to hear how it fits into your practice now. And if you learn anything in this workshop that you're going to add to your practice. And I want to say thank you very, very much to Katie, who is a 3, for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Katie is a member, and thank you so much for your support with the very generous super chat. Super chats and super stickers are ways that you can support this broadcast, and it is most appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let me know if you have a personality card. Okay, so JJ Reason, no, the personality is going to be a 2-digit number between 10 and 22. So when you go through this adding process of adding the digits of your birth date together, you come to a 2-digit number. And if that 2-digit number is 10 through 22, that's your personality card. Right, so Jackie V, 14. Your personality card is Temperance, and your soul card is the Hierophant. So Smile Soul 20, if you're 25, you're like me. You got no personality. There's a lot of us here with no personality. Obviously, it doesn't mean you don't have a personality, clearly. So JF1, you're 11. So 11 is your personality card, what you're here to learn in this lifetime. And 2 is your soul card, what your soul is here to learn all the time, every lifetime to lifetime. So Caroline, 32, no personality card, like me. you have a soul card. You have a soul card of 5, which is the Hierophant. Chriswell points out the thing that we're all thinking, so many tarot readers with no personality card. Are we all in the wrong profession? No, not at all. Not at all. We've got that direction, that spiritual direction. So if you are at 22, and this is where we get to have an argument, but let's start without having the argument. Let's start. Let's just start and do it. Okay. If you're at 22, your personality card is the Fool. And we'll talk about how that happens in a minute. Robin Renee is a 21. Personality card is the World. Soul card is the Empress. Yeah, no doubt. Imani Williams, nice to see you. So personality is the Tower. What you're here to learn in this lifetime is the Tower. What do you want to do with that? And your soul card, what your soul does all the time, is the Chariot. And so, as I have said, the Greek system of master numbers, 11, 22, 33, has no bearing here. We're not doing that. No presence, no bearing having to do with tarot. For example, Justice at card 11 is not a more powerful card because it's 11, because the Greeks saw 11, 22, and 33 as master numbers. We're not doing that here. Which is not to say that that's not an important practice. That's not to say that doesn't matter, but that's the way it is. Chara, Sun's personality card is Death. Okay, so let's play with that. And this is, whether we're talking about personality cards or just those birth pairs and triplets, some of the cards, you got Death, the Devil, Tower, right? These are difficult cards. If those are your personality cards, or even if you're just dealing with them as part of a birth pair or a birth triplet, what do you do with that? So if your personality card is Death in this lifetime, you're here to learn how to deal with change. You are here to learn how to be an agent of transformation, to embrace transformation in your life, and perhaps to aid other people in their transformation as well. That's what that looks like. If the Devil is your personality card, you're here in this lifetime to think about attachments. What do you attach yourself to? What do you not attach yourself to? How do you free yourself from attachments? And are you one who has a cause that you are ride or die attached to, and that's the way it is? What if the Tower is your personality card? Well then, you may be the person, all I can think about is like Jesus in the temple flipping over the tables, right? If it doesn't work, knock it down, man. That's who you are. Okay, so Katie asks again, how do you find your personality card? Not everyone has a personality card. Some people have 2. So for example, for Chara's son, Lucian, who has Death as a personality card, we could also look at, is that true? Hang on a minute. No. Well, yeah, in a way. No, never mind. I was doing my math wrong. Erase. Let me go back to Katie's, question. Not everyone has a personality card. If when you're doing your adding of your digits, you start out adding all the digits of your birth date together, including all 4 digits of your year, then you end up with a 2-digit number. If that 2-digit number is between 10 and 22, the corresponding tarot card with the Fool being card 22. The corresponding tarot card will be your personality. And that denotes what you've come to this lifetime to work on. If that 2-digit number is 23 or over, you have no personality card. I have no personality card. A lot of us here have no personality card. That means that we're just here to do our soul's work, and that's what we're focused on. And the soul card, that 1 through 9 card, is what you're here to work on. Zuri, you're a 4 birth card and a 13 personality. That makes so much sense to me, Zuri. Oh my gosh. You know, I've been sitting here my big question to y'all, and probably to me too, is there value in this? Now, if you attended StarCon 2022, Fred West did a fabulous workshop on birth pairs that really was very eye-opening about this practice. And so if you attended that, I did not have a chance to see it. If you attended that and wanted to share something from that, I would love to hear it, but the feedback on it was fabulous. People loved it and really learned from it. So please understand that when we talk about the concept of birth cards, this is a huge practice. And I am not really here to teach you a whole bunch about it because it's not that much in my tarot practice. As I said, I know tarot readers who, when they do a reading for you, they want to figure out your birth cards right away. So I am basically here to say to y'all, hey, this is a thing. This is a thing that people do. And do you do it? And does it have meaning to you? And right now we're talking about the figuring out of the personality card, if you have one, and the soul card. The soul card being your soul's mission for all of time. The personality card, if you have one, the thing that you're here to work on in this lifetime. And if you do not have a personality card, the soul's mission is what you're working on, and there it is. There it is. So that's the first thing we're playing with, and to see if it has any value. Now, I started all that just tripping out on Zuri having a 13 personality, death, and being the emperor. And I know Zuri pretty well. I have the pleasure of living fairly near her and enjoying her. We have the occasional lunch together. And Zuri, that fits. I just feel like that fits you so much. So much. All right. Now, Katie, no personality card for you, right? Makes sense. Makes sense. So now, and do I think one is better than the other? No, I don't. You are what you are and you deal with what you deal with, and it's all good. You know, it's just who you are. So now, let's talk about that card that we all have. And now we're going to go into really looking at the pairs and triples. And Minnie says, it's so funny that I got the Emperor because usually when I ask how people see me, I get the Emperor reversed. That's interesting. And it makes me wonder, Minnie, are there issues having to do with your father? Or do you look a lot like your father? Is there any way people connect you to your father? That's just a question I have. And if we think about you as the emperor, that's interesting. If people see you as the emperor reversed, that maybe you're not showing people your full face. You're not showing people your full self. So whether or not you have that personality card, the higher numbered arcana cards that do correspond with your birth card will be considered your birth pair or part of your birth triple. And so, for example, I don't have a personality card. My birth card is strength, but of course the corresponding card to strength is the star. And so the star does come in as a birth card for me, so that it is still something we need to think about. So, thinking about personality cards, whether you have one or whether you don't, And how does your personality card speak to what you're doing in this lifetime if you have one? That is a question, right? That's a question that we're playing with. But now let's move on to look at those cards 1 through 9. And those who have joined us on Instagram, thank you so much for being here. If you want to come over and join us on YouTube, you can interact a little more directly and see the cards. That's great. You can, you don't have to. So let's look at those cards 1 through 9 that we think about as our birth card, right? What is your birth card? Mine is strength. And it's very nice, isn't it, that in those 1 through 9 cards, there is not a death card. There is not a devil or a tower. There's nothing, like none of these 1 through 9 cards are particularly difficult. Okay. So Peggy Lou, number 5. The Hierophant. I've always bucked authority and I'm a teacher of sorts. Sure, makes perfect sense. Katie, you're the Empress. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. You are very nurturing toward others. Caroline, your birth card is also the Empress. And Imani, yours is the Chariot. Okay, and Kristen, so Justice is your personality card. So Justice being the lesson you're here to learn. I'm very much about seeing the other side of conflict, seeing the nuance of things. So that would make Justice appropriate for you because that's what true justice is. Justice is not a strong opinion. Justice is being able to see the nuance. That's the whole lesson of justice, isn't it? People are all like, I want justice, I want vengeance. They wouldn't know justice if they tripped over it because they're so into their strong opinion, right? That's not the lesson. All right. So we have a lot of 3s here, a lot of Empresses. Angelic Michelle, it does make sense for you. Ashriel, you're an Emperor. Makes sense. Oh, that was your older son, Corey. That makes sense. Lucian is the world. Ah, got it. Perfect. Okay, I'm just scrolling back here. Okay. All right, so let's talk about that birth card, what Mary Greer would have taught us to call your soul card, but we could also call it your birth card. So Criswell, Priestess. So if you're a 2 and your card is the High Priestess, what would that say about you? I would say a person who has the soul card of High Priestess is definitely a spiritual seeker, definitely someone who thinks deeply about things, definitely might be more introverted than extroverted for one reason or another, but also one who studies. I mean, there's an intelligence there. The High Priestess is in that place of balance, sort of between all the different worlds, right? And holding space between all those different worlds. And so Sharon, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. And, you bring up an interesting question depending on which deck you're using. I am definitely working here with the weight system. So 8 would be strength. But obviously, if you're doing this with the Crowley system, then yeah, 8 would be justice. Okay. So Chara, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. What would the Hermit life path be? That's what mine would be. I have 9 for my number. So if 9 is your soul card, your soul is, I think, is here to learn and teach the spiritual essence of patience. Here to be a teacher without ever being in your face. Here to be a way shower without ever letting anyone know that that's what you're doing. Here to be one who is always willing and able to look at yourself and work on yourself. Orange Honeymoon, thanks for joining us on Instagram. I am simulcasting a free workshop that I'm doing on my YouTube channel, Christiana Gaudet Tarot on YouTube, on tarot birth cards. You're welcome to join us here. You're also welcome to come on over and join us on YouTube. All right. So, Minerva, no, your soul card cannot be 11. If you have gotten to your double digit and your double digit is 11, that's your personality card. And your soul card would be the High Priestess. And thanks for being here and thanks for being a member here. All right. So, Jake is the Lovers. And Kristen says, well, that's about choice, doing is what is right for your own psycho-spiritual development. I love that. Yeah, the Lovers is very much about being able to distinguish between this and that. Understanding differences and nuances. Knowing what you want in your life and what you don't want in your life. Oh, well, if it was 29, but then 2 plus 9 is 11, so then it's 11. So 11 is your personality, which means you have a personality card. Congratulations. Which means, Minerva, that in this lifetime, you are here to work through and learn about Major Arcana 11, justice. How to find balance, what is fair, what is right, what is wrong, how does that all work together? And your soul card, what your soul does from lifetime to lifetime, is the High Priestess. Justine, I am also an 8. Yes. So yeah, back to Jake being the Lovers. That makes a lot of sense. You know, it's all about figuring out the differences between things and what you want and what you don't want and how to make it all work. Yeah, Sharon, very interesting distinction there, and I think that's really smart to look at. The distinction between, and this is just like good for tarot study too, right? The distinction between the Hierophant and the Hermit. If you check through the playlist on live tarot webinars, you'll see I did a class on the clergy of tarot, which is the High Priestess, the Hierophant, and the Hermit. These 3 cards are the clergy of tarot. And if you look at the difference between the Hermit and the Hierophant, Sharon, and again, thanks for being here and thanks for being a member, you got that. You absolutely got that. The Hierophant is the teacher who goes running after you. You must learn this. You must learn this. The Hermit doesn't care if you learn it or not. The Hermit's there. But you got to go, you got to climb that snowy mountain to get to the Hermit and learn from the Hermit. Now, it's interesting to note with the Hermit, for those of you whose number is 9, and anyone just getting here, if you scroll back through the chat, at the very beginning, there is instruction for how to find the number. So, and as Bianca points out, there is an online life path number calculator, but that will not let you know if you have a personality card. Yeah, you as Hierophant Von Ray. Nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. That is funny and interesting, for sure. So a thing to remember about the Hierophant, some of you have heard me say this before. Yes, we think about the Hierophant as shining the lamp of wisdom for all to see. But originally, the Hermit was holding an hourglass. And when the drawings of the Hermit first started to show a lantern, it wasn't a lantern at all, it was a candle, 14th century or so. And at that time, candles were used for timekeeping. And so, yes, this is the light of wisdom, but it's also a clock. And I think that's really important to the essence of who the hermit is as Father Time. So that's important. Okay, yeah, Lisa, you have to do digit by digit by digit. That's the key. Digit by digit by digit. Absolutely. Okay. Okay, so baby cakes, what does strength mean for you? And this is what we're looking at, right? When we figure out what that birth card is for you, what does it mean? Now I'm strength too, so let's have all the Justine is strength. Let's have anyone who has strength. Let's talk about it. What does it mean? For me, it's about really honoring and loving my wild nature, but not letting my wild nature take over. I have to really work hard to keep that wild nature under control. And, so much of the strength card for me is about compassion, and I do really try to be a compassionate person. But, having that wild spirit and being willing to sort of explore what it is to have that wild spirit, that's part of it for me too, and how to find that balance. And Bianca, you bring up an important point, is that the cards that are associated with your astrology will be important to you as well. Okay, Lisa, I'm going to do I'm doing your math, apparently. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so, that's a nice, oh, Lisa, you share a birth date with my daughter and her husband. Look at you. So that's 10, 11, 20. You're a 3 with no personality. There it is. You are here to be the Empress, my friend. From lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. Seriously. All right. So, anyone else have a comment on their soul card, or wondering why their soul card is their soul card, or wanting to talk about what their soul card means to them? Next, without thinking about that complexity of do you have a personality card, do you not have a personality card, we're going to start to look at birth pairs and triplets. Okay, Amber A, I'm going to do your math for you. Okay. Hang on one second. So 3, 9, 10, 19, 27, 36. Amber A, you're a 9, no personality card, which is exactly what Jake came up to as well. Okay, Arlette, nice to see you. 38, which would be 11 personality, and Tools 2 soul card. Yes, you got it. You got it. Bianca, just add up all the digits in your birth date. Making sure you go digit by digit and using all 4 digits in the year. Criswell, what would it mean when a whole bunch of priestesses get together with a whole bunch of hermits? And where have all the magicians gone? Long time passing. And a couple of you have mentioned there's a predominance of certain things here. Hey, Febborn has just become a member. Thank you so much, Febborn. We really appreciate that. We love having you here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Make sure you go to the playlist, members only, and you can watch a whole bunch of things. Okay, Morgana, I will answer your question in a minute. Amber, what does no personality mean? That means that in this lifetime, you have come here to work on the issues that you work on lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. You are focused. I have no personality either. You are focused. It doesn't mean we don't have a personality. It means you don't have a personality card. And so you are just focused on your soul's mission. Okay, Morgana, 4 If you're a 4, the Emperor, if you're a 4, you're a person who cares a lot about doing what you say you're going to do. You probably like routine. You probably like responsibility. You probably have some leadership in your ability. You care about community. You are a community leader. You do, as I said, you do what you say you're going to do, and you probably adhere to routine. Amber, I'm definitely focused. That's totally right. There you go. There you go. Hey, Sepida Abed, I hope I pronounced that correctly. You're a 6. Very good. Hey, JJ Reason, we have a magician. Good, we're complete. Very good. Very good. Okay, so Jake, you're not the only lovers anymore. Okay, so Bianca, if you got 44, then that's an 8. So no personality card, strength. Okay, Amber A, if you're a 9, patience is going to be one of your important lessons. Being a teacher, being a way shower, but at a distance, not in people's faces, like the Hierophant would be, right? Being patient, caring deeply about wisdom, and being very comfortable in your own energy. Arlette, no problem, because you can always go back and watch the replay. Okay. Hey, Shloyer, nice to see you. So 31, so you're a 4, no personality card. Okay, Arlette, what does that mean? Your soul's purpose, lifetime to lifetime, is the High Priestess. What you're here to learn in this lifetime? Justice. Okay. The Empress. If the Empress is your soul card, you're nurturing. You're nurturing, you're creative, you take care of others, you love nature, you love the earth. You probably have some ability to create abundance, but first and foremost, nurturance. Can someone have the Tower? Someone can have the Tower as a personality card. And it's certainly going to show up when we start looking at birth pairs and birth triplets. And definitely an agent of change. Doesn't work? Knock it down and do it again. It's not a bad thing. All right, so now let's look at those groupings. Let's not think about whether or not you have a personality card or not. Let's just think about the groupings. And some of you will have 3 cards as your birth cards. So if you're a 3, you have the Empress, the Hanged Man, and the World, right? If you're a 1, you have the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Sun. If you're a 2, you have the High Priestess, Justice, and Judgment. If you are a 4, and this is the great question, right? How do you feel about the Fool being 22? Like, when I do it, I tend to just take the Fool out and not play with the Fool and just say Emperor Death, right? But if you like to put the Fool as 22, you're Emperor Death Fool, and those are your triplets. If you're born with one of those numbers, 1, 2, 3, and if you use the Fool that way, 4, you've got birth triplets. The rest of us have birth pairs. So what I want you to do now is find your birth triplet or your birth pair. Take those cards. So, Hierophant Temperance, Lover's Devil, Chariot Tower, Strength Star, that's me, Hermit Moon. And what I want you to do is look at, how do these cards go together? Do they tell a story together? How do these cards make sense together? Emperor Death is one of my favorites because in a way you see Emperor as like so like solid, like unchangeable, and Death the ultimate change. But if you think about it, what is the only constant in life? The only constant in life is we're all going to die. And then add the Fool to that, and what kind of story do you get? Okay, Peggy, how do you know pairs? It's all numerology. So, for example, the Magician is card 1. Wheel of Fortune is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. The Sun, 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So it's all the numerology. So these, when you break them down to their essential number, it's all 1. Right, so Justine, Bianca, me, learning Star and Strength, learning how to heal yourself though in difficult times. Sure. And when I think about this, like for me, I look at Strength and the Star in the most positive sense for me, myself. I am a compassionate healer, right? The Star being healing, Strength being compassion, I'm a compassionate healer. But what do I need to watch out for? I'm a royal bitch. I can be. And I want what I want when I want it. I am a freaking diva. So the warning, do not be a bitchy diva. The goal, be a compassionate healer. And for me, these two cards work to remind me of these things, right? What I can be in either case, right? Okay, so Shaloyer 4 is the Emperor. And so that's Emperor, Death. And if you want to call the Fool, card 22, obviously 2 plus 2 is 4, so the Fool goes into that too, which is a really interesting cycle. I had a nice conversation with Mary Greer once about this cycle, Fool, Emperor, Death, and how those 3 cards like weirdly go together. Zuri, yes, Christiana can be a diva when it comes to her restaurant food choices. You know that, man. You've had lunch with me. If you have lunch with me, you know how I am about food. No, I am not always easygoing. No, you're right. You are absolutely right, man. I want it the way I want it. That's how I want it. All right. Okay. So, and Justine, you make such a good point, right? Like those 2 cards, Strength and Star, that's how it works for me. It's going to work differently for you. The key is to see, how does it work for you? How does it work for you? Amber A, the number pair, the Hermit and the Moon, what attributes does that pair have? Man, always seeking the mystery, always seeking the deepest truth, always wondering what is really true, and very willing to wonder that and keep it to themselves. Well, you know, that's true, Peggy Lou. I am a Scorpio. That is true. That is true. And so, right, Bianca, these cards really can explain personalities. And this is a tarot reading technique that people use. I'm going to do a reading for you. Let me figure out your birth cards, and we'll start with that. And we'll see how these birth cards work with you. That's not a technique I use, but a lot of readers do. And we can see, you know, there's something there. And in our exercise here today, to look at how does this work for you? How does this work for you? Oh, Justine, Hermit and the World. Wait a minute. It's Hermit and the Moon. Hermit and the Moon. So 3, Emperor, Hanged Man, and World. I'm sorry, excuse me, Empress. I'm holding the Empress. I said Emperor, but I meant Empress. Empress, Hanged Man, and World is 3. So that would be, as the Empress, if you're the Empress, that's going to be your birth triplet. Empress, Hanged Man, and World. And, you know, for you particularly, Katie Kondo, that is pretty darn interesting. let's use these three cards to tell the story of Katie Kondo, if I may. And I'm doing this because I know you a little bit, right? Katie, you are nurturing, you are feminine, you are creative. You care so much about the world and want to work to make the world a better place. And because of your physical limitations, you have had to work to accept your limitations, to find enlightenment in that space, in the space that you occupy in the world and how you move in the world. And so that is, for you, that feels really profound. Let me know how that strikes you, but that feels really profound to me. Okay. Oh, so interesting. Bianca, reversed, we can learn our flaws, certainly. That's good. That's good. JJ Reason, you use it in readings and it's fun. Very good, very good. Kristen Louise, a fellow Scorpio. Okay, let's see. Okay. So if you were never the wild one, baby cakes, as strength, I think then that just like really speaks to being that gentlewoman, being the woman or being the person who tries to be in control of things and keep the wild things from happening. Really wanting to be that person who gently keeps things under control. Okay, so Shaz55, nice to see you. We've got the two triplets. High Priestess, Justice, and Judgment. So interesting, right? When we think about those three cards, High Priestess, of course, and Justice being so much about balance, so much about figuring out what is true, what is not true. The High Priestess deeply into the subconscious and deeply studied. Justice, so much wanting to do the right thing. And Judgment, all three of these have a very deep connection to true spiritual inspiration. Judgment literally hears the voice of the angels. The High Priestess travels into the underworld to communicate with those who are behind the veil. And Justice, what's interesting is archetypally, Justice is connected to Maat, the Egyptian goddess of the underworld, who, when you get there, weighs your heart against a feather. And so this whole sort of underworld traveling and connection to the other side and connection to mediumship, communicating with those on the other side. There's a depth here that I see that is so significant. So when we think about Judgment, Kristen, I have never seen the Judgment card in terms of being judgmental. I know some people will see that because that's its name. But for me, Judgment is all about, it is the rebirth of the phoenix. It is hearing the voice of the angel. It is the call to awaken the sleeping hero. It is allowing the past to be the past, getting closure to the past, recognizing that at every moment, in every situation, you did the best you could. It's like the ultimate card of forgiveness in a lot of ways. That's how I see it. Clumsy Clairvoyance, my goodness, thank you so much for the super sticker. And I have to say, Clumsy Clairvoyance has become my angel here. She's been going to the replays and time stamping them. Oh my gosh, how helpful is that? How helpful is that? Okay, so Nesty, your sun is Aquarius and your name comes to 8, right? Same as your cards, right? Likewise, my rising is Leo, which is strength. Okay, so, Katie, nail on the head there. There we go. Right, JJ Reason, judgment, clarity, and karma, certainly. Morgana, the 4 trio resonates a lot. Control issues, repeated lessons in life to let things go. Take a leap of faith, they'll be okay despite not being able to control them. JF1, I'm a 2. So interesting that I've always had a fascination with death and mediumship. Worked in hospice for a while and wanted to be a mortician. And Bianca, judgment was a hard card for me too. So again, the triplets. There are only 3 or 4 cards that have triplets. 4 if you count the Fool as a 4. And so the triplets would be Magician. If you're a 1, you're a triplet, right? If you're a 2, you're a triplet. Where's Judgment? Here we go. If you're a 2, you're a triplet. If you're a 3, where'd you go? Where's my Empress? Oh, here, sorry. If you're a 3, you're a triplet. And if you want to count the Fool as card 22, if you're a 4, you're a triplet. Everything else is a pair. Lisa Harmon, 3 Empress, Hanged Man, World. Being nurturing, I have to wait with a lot of patience before stepping out on the world stage. Double Aries. Interesting. Which pair is 9? 9 is Hermit, Moon. And these 2 cards for me just go together so well. It's one of my favorite pairs because they're both so deeply contemplative. And they both, like, there's a danger to both of them. It's hard to climb to the snowy mountain all by yourself. And the Moon, you've got to walk on that path, through all that danger. And yet you do it and you are guided and you will be safe. So I love that. Now, and then we go back to, when your pair includes the darker cards, like Lover's Devil, Jake, or Chariot Tower. And, this is a very good lesson in remembering that the dark cards aren't bad. Because Lover's Devil is very much, what do you want to attach yourself to and what do you not want to attach yourself to? And when you do attach yourself to something, you may attach yourself really, really hard. So be careful about it. And the Chariot, there you are in full mastery on your journey. And if it needs to come down, let it come down. The beautiful thing about the Tower is that which is built on a faulty foundation cannot stand and shouldn't. And the Chariot has the courage to bring it down. Jake, flashback to drunken club nights. Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, Amber, that totally makes sense. Hey, Lulu, nice to see you. So what do you think about your birth pair? What does it tell you about you and how does it help you? How does it help you to know your birth cards? Anything that you have learned here today about your Major Arcana birth cards, how does it help you? How does it not help you? And baby cakes, now that I think about it, I'm not wild, but I can get crazy, right? Ashriel, and thank you so much for being a member, Ashriel. Lovers and Devil both have Adam and Eve while the angel turns into the devil. Yes. Very, very true. Betty Flesher, and thank you again for being a member. I'm sitting at the vet's office. I'm sorry, listening to you. My number is 7, Sheridan Tower. A woman just came in, dog hit by a car, having to have it put to sleep. I'm crying my eyes out. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, Chariot and Tower, man, what an operative. That's one of those times when the Tower when Tarot just talks in a way that we would wish it wouldn't, sending so much love and peace and healing to that entire situation. And Bianca says, I have a passion for helping people heal. So I feel it's helped me understand my gifts. Yeah, I think that it is, on this level, a very good practice to figure this out. And this is something you can do for your friends, for the people around you, might help with your relationships. JF1, I'm not sure if it is or isn't helpful, but I enjoy hearing new things and found it interesting. Sure. And again, different people play with it different ways. And as I said, Fred West has a whole thing on birth pairs that are really interesting. Katie, maybe corny, but triple confirmed my purpose on earth. Hey, I don't think that's corny at all. I think that's great. Fabulous. So very good. We are in our last 5 minutes, and we've now stopped broadcasting on Instagram. So we're in our last 5 minutes, and any questions or comments? Now is the time. Robin Renee, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. $3 in honor of your triple threes. Thank you. Clumsy Clairvoyance, birth cards can bring a lot of validation to us, but also we can use these as our tarot guides. That totally makes a lot of sense. I love that. That totally makes sense. Bianca, today I also learned in general how the cards can have so many meanings, especially for our life. Yes, that's absolutely true. It's important to recognize that how we interpret the card for one person, we may interpret that same card very differently for another person. And it's not that one's right or one's wrong. Each card has such a wealth of meanings. You can wear it a lot of different ways. Katie, I'm so looking forward to our conversation tomorrow. Absolutely. And please do remember to like this video. That is very, very much appreciated. You can see that we have put up some new classes coming up in August. It's not all the August classes, but it's a lot of them. My opinion on the Hierophant for you, Peggy Lou. I think sometimes you give other people too much authority in your life, and you don't know your own authority. Jake, I've seen a lot of people who are 7 have big egos. I've always seen the Tower as ultimate ego death. Interesting. Oh, Morgana, I really like this topic. We'll definitely meditate on my cards. That's great. Thank you. And tomorrow, of course, at noon, I'll be here with the Friday weekly wrap-up, so I'll look forward to seeing you there. And I want to thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for playing with this. I wasn't quite sure where this was all going to go. It's an interesting topic, and I'm glad we had some fun with it. It's a nice way to know yourself, and it's a nice way to know others, to learn to know others. So it really is a beautiful thing. Oh, JF1, thank you for taking time out of your day to do these classes. I enjoy them. Thank you. I enjoy doing them. And of course, they all end up in the playlist live tarot webinars, so you can check them out. Minerva, we loved having you at this workshop. Thanks so much for being a member here. Really appreciate you. Lulu, thanks so much to you. And Teresa, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. That advice on the Hierophant works for me as well. Interesting. Okay. Very good. You know, the Hierophant can be a tough card. Sometimes the Hierophant is about giving other people too much authority, not taking your own authority. Sometimes the Hierophant is about needing to go to school, needing to be a teacher, needing to be a student. Sometimes the Hierophant is about giving the wrong thing authority. It's an interesting thing. Well, thank you all so very much. I really appreciate you. A special shout out to the members. And to those who helped out with super chats and super stickers. And thank you to everyone for being here. Arlette, honestly, I've been having a hard time. I'm so sorry. Back in a place where I'm trying to find my purpose, this really helps. For years, I've wanted to be a death doula. Interesting. Yes, and Teresa, you're a student, so that goes well with the Hierophant. Yes, tarot, the study of tarot can be very, very helpful in helping us figure out who we are and what the heck we're doing on this planet. Absolutely. And I hope if even a little bit this helped you do that, that is a fabulous thing. Thank you all very much. I will look forward to seeing you soon. As I said, tomorrow at noon, I should be back for the Friday Weekly Wrap-Up. Thank you very much. Make sure you like this video. So much appreciation to all of you. Have a great evening.